But yeah, look, let's look ahead. The Arsenal game becomes pretty important for that kind of top four. They're one of our main rivals in that, I say top six even now, really. They've not had a great run of form, although, yeah, they did manage to pull out a win against Aston Villa with 10 men last week. But before that, they had a draw with Tottenham, managed to throw away a 2-goal lead against Watford, and lost to Liverpool before that. I mean, Aubameyang's always good for a goal or two. But yeah, their defence is looking pretty dodgy as it has for years. How are you feeling confident for that Arsenal match, Cole?
No, not at all. If Martial was back, if we were back, I think I would be. But based on this week, I don't know how anyone could feel confident about that match whatsoever. I think Arsenal are stronger than us, and in terms of squad depth, Emery's under quite a lot of pressure as well. There's a lot of chat that the two manager, it's like a sack off basically. But they have players to come back. Kieran Tierney hasn't played at all for them.
I think he played yesterday in the cup game for them.
So I'm fearful. I think they just they're a lot heavier than us up front. I think as bad as they've been, I think they at least have a bit more of a structure and a way about them. And I just think we're super fragile at the moment. Would be a great result, and if anyone, in many ways, it'll be easier for us to play a bigger team at the moment. Where the pressure's taken off us a wee bit, and well, it's a different kind of pressure, I suppose. But we're not necessarily playing a team who's going to surrender possession and sit in two banks or whatever else, and hopefully, I could see it being a very, very open game and a relatively high-scoring game. But at the moment, I just wouldn't fancy us to match them in terms of the attacking output. I think it'll need to be a big, big, big game from our back four. Be interesting to see what Ole does in terms of team selection. If Matic is in there, if he tries to really flood the midfield and try and really hit them on the counter, I imagine that's the way we'll play.
Yeah, I mean, I think seeing Matic not being anywhere in the squad today probably signals he is going to play in that game, which I'm not pretty happy about. I mean, yeah, the one player actually I did have written down that I wanted to chat about that we've not talked about is Fred, because we haven't seen anything of him for the first month or so. And then, yeah, he has played a fair bit this week. I mean, Reese, do you think Fred should be coming into the team? Where are you at on Matic, Fred? I mean, I'm assuming, I would say McTominay is a lock in the team. Pogba's definitely going to play, and then the only question is whether it's a 2-man, 3-man midfield. I mean, how do you think we should be setting up for this Arsenal game?
For me, Fred should definitely be number one name in United's midfield. Not because I rate him that highly as a player. I just think, considering the state of United's midfield, he's an absolute must because he brings dynamism, brings a bit of personality to the team. When he's on the ball, he's trying to be positive with it. I think we saw today, I think he was one of our better players in midfield. I think he gives a lot of drive to the team.
Still got caught out and almost let them straight in on goal, which I think is what we all expect. I was just about to say that. Yeah. Which, if he doesn't do that once every 90 minutes, I start to get worried because that seems to be like just a fatal flaw.
His trademark. Yeah, I think he's basically a brain fart midfielder. Like, he's gonna 3 or 4 times a game, he's gonna F up massively. But on the plus side, he gives you a lot in terms of he does give that midfield character. I feel like when he's not there in the side, there's no real like structure in terms of the build up. Yeah. The defenders don't really know who to pass it to. You'll see sometimes Pogba amble in. Oh, give me the ball. I'll be the pivot.
But so slow. And I think as a pivot, he's definitely the most. He has a real nice left foot kind of whip ball. He's very happy to play it really along the line, very close to defenders, but then out wide and with a good bit of pace, which I think we just lack so much.
Yeah. So for me, it would be Fred and Pogba definitely in the midfield, and then for me, it would be McTominay versus Gomez, depending on the situation of a game. Do you want to strengthen up the core of the midfield defensively, or do you want to gamble a bit, push Pogba slightly deeper and give him another player to play off in the middle? So those 4 players are the 4 that I would concentrate based on the current squad that we have in terms of midfield places for the first team.
I think it's definite that McTominay will play this Arsenal game. Yeah, in the long term, I do understand what you're saying. I think for sure McTominay is going to start. Pogba, I assume, will. And then, I would prefer to see Fred in there. I would actually like to see McTominay, Fred, and I would actually push Pogba on. For me, he is the one who should be playing maybe in that number 10, which is that problem position for us. I would now go in that way. McTominay, Fred, push him on. James has to play. Greenwood is going to play up front. and then somebody else gets thrown in, whether it's
I think it'll be
Pereira,
Pereira.
Mata, or
If he starts Mata, it's a death sentence. I mean, if he starts Mata and Matic, I can definitely see him starting Matic. I think he will. And in
I
many
think
ways,
he will because he hasn't played today. I
yeah,
don't want him to, but I think
I
it's a
don't
sign
really
that
want him to,
Matic.
but I think it's one of those ones where after the 90 minutes you could look back on and go, actually, you know what, probably the right decision. It doesn't look good, but it helps us. And as much as Matic, his numbers never look great. You always see McTominay getting these many interceptions, these many tackles, these many duels won, but Matic does read a lot of things and cut them off before that even becomes a thing. Now he's totally slow, but there's still positives there with Matic when you put him in the right setup for the right game. But Mata, I think it's the end of the road now, and certainly if you get both of them in, I think we just get bypassed so easily. And it is quite a combative Arsenal now. You see, it's not really like what they used to be. We could just go and bully them. They are quite dynamic now. Xhaka, as much as he's an absolute bomb scare, does get it through a lot of work, and I could see us kind of losing out on that if we don't have the players who are going to put in that effort. So I would definitely want to see Pereira in over the likes of Mata or Lingard instead of Pereira. If it's going to be Greenwood, Lingard, and Daniel James, with Pogba maybe pushed on would be my ideal. But certainly then Pereira, then Mata as a last resort.
What about a diamond? So, for example, if you did put Matic in, Matic pivot, Fred and McTominay either side, with Pogba in behind, James and Greenwood.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing is it's so far away from anything we've done under Ole. I just can't see him all of a sudden switching to something like that. He's mostly been playing like kind of 2-3-1. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try a more kind of 4-3-3, but maybe a diamond is something in the future. But I can't see him doing that now all of a sudden.
Not as a permanent formation. It's
just
just
for the
when
game.
you're up against Arsenal, I feel like Fergie always tried to experiment against Arsenal, be compact.
Yeah, and we always had a great record under Arsenal against Arsenal over the years. It's one of those.
Equally, I think at the moment we're having our players keep a lot of width, but we're so bad with it. We really do nothing. I thought actually in the second half tonight, Brandon Williams really forced the issue. I thought he really tired after about 20 minutes and basically stopped making any kind of overlapping ones. But for the first 20 minutes, I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and it was actually really refreshing to see a fullback just immediately bomb past, and he was tried to be slipped in a few times by Pereira, but even when he wasn't, it just immediately took that second Rochdale defender away, opened up the space for pretty much everyone. And Wan-Bissaka was actually doing the same on the right when Chong and James were over there. And to me, it was so obvious that obviously they'd had a word at half time, but I just don't understand why we don't do that pretty much all the time. That should be the base expectation for fullbacks at Manchester United, and we just don't. So much of Wan-Bissaka's attacking has looked so dreadful this year, but I really don't blame him in the slightest, because he's just been asked to do the whole right wing on his own, and usually marked at least by one person, if not two, because there's no right winger. I just like to see us really nail down what we actually want to do. But I thought Brandon Williams, just because we didn't mention it, was really, really decent when he came on.
Yeah, it's true actually. Like I say, he came in. I think it's because Dallo was injured, so he made it onto the bench and did really well second half. In fact, I'm assuming Jones was injured at half time, but it's possible it was a tactical decision from Ole. I don't know. I just just made the obvious assumption that Jones is injured, but it's possible he decided to go for a more attacking fullback. Although even Rojo was having some of his 40-yard pot shots. One of those will go in one day, right?
Just not for us.
I was thinking that as well during the game.
But look, it's Arsenal, right? Whatever happens, I think you're saying what you think their squad is a lot stronger than ours at the moment, Colm.
Oh yeah, comfortably.
I think look, in terms of squad depth, we are definitely lacking in the forward and midfield. So I do see what you're saying. I think Lacazette is out for them at the moment. That Pepe hasn't done too much yet, but Aubameyang is always scoring. So he's the one who kind of gets them out of trouble again and again. Their defence, though, we've got to be able to get at that defence. When they're bringing in somebody like David Luiz to shore it up, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting game, because like us, like Chelsea, like Spurs, aside from City and Liverpool, everyone looks kind of hopeless. So
Yeah, that is the good thing. That is the good thing that, last week, even though we lost,
everyone lost.
yeah, well,
It's
Arsenal
West
did
Ham
pull
and
out a
Leicester.
result in
Those are
the
the
end.
ones we need to be looking at. They're the teams that are going to usurp us.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about West Ham's. Well, people were actually talking about Everton pre-season, but they've totally fucked it already. But yeah, there is quite a few. I think Leicester, for me, do look like a good shout for
Yeah,
pushing
they're a good
towards
outfit. Yeah.
top six. But yeah, we shouldn't be too worried at the moment, even though we've not had a great couple of months. We're still, we get a result in a game like this, and then yeah, in a few weeks'
It's a
time
tough
we've
run of
got
fixtures
another
though. We have Liverpool. It's like, so is it Arsenal, maybe Norwich, then Liverpool, Bournemouth, I think.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
We've got Arsenal, then it's we go away to Alkmaar in the Europa. Newcastle, then it's international break and Liverpool. So yeah, no, it's not an easy run at all. But like you say, sometimes I think maybe the Ole team is better to set up for playing on the break against the teams that come and play a bit, rather than the part the bus kind of ones where we really have big difficulty with.
Is it Arsenal home and away, Nick? Is it at home, is it?
Where yeah, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away, Liverpool at home. You'd say off recent form that we shouldn't be too positive, but oh yeah, we always seem to do pretty well against Arsenal. And I always have an annual bet with a good Gooner mate of mine of who finishes high, United or Arsenal. And I've lost that bet for about 3 years in a row now, which used to be a right lock that we would win that one every time. So yeah.
Is it Robbie or Troops?
Yeah. Arsenal Fan TV. Let's get them on there. Look, all right then. Let's finish off with a couple of predictions. Reese, what do you think for this game, United Arsenal?
I think it's going to be a draw. The reason being, I think they're a better team than us. I agree with Colm, but we're at home, and it's going to take a tough, really bad game from us to basically lose against Arsenal at home. So I'm going to put some faith in the boys. I think we'll get a draw.
All right, draw from Reese. What do you think, Colm?
Yeah, 2-2, score draw.
Yeah, look, I think we can get a win here. I actually hit for the first time in many years. I actually got many weeks. I got the prediction right. I said 1-0 Leicester, so I'm going for 1-0 Arsenal that will win again. So yeah, I got it right last time, but yeah, it's probably unlikely I'll hit 2 in a row. But I'm not going to predict anything apart from a win at home. I think hopefully we get, like I say, Pogba coming back in.
We just drew 1-1 with Rochdale at home. What are you on about?
Yeah. But look, second string team. So yeah, let's
it's not,
forget
that
one.
Second. Yeah, okay.
You're right. Actually, it was actually a lot stronger team than I was expecting. To be fair, I think a couple of the players who might have played, like Gomez, Dallo, were actually out. So I think he was then forced to play people like Wan-Bissaka, who probably wouldn't have played in this match otherwise. Look, fair play to Rochdale. We did have a ton of chances, although you wouldn't say they were like clear cut.
No.
And Wan-Bissaka did have that ridiculous goal line clearance as well, we shouldn't forget. So we could have actually easily lost that game in the end. So yeah, I was trying to just skirt over that and forget it all and try and look at the positives, Colm. Yeah. But yeah, you brought it right at the end there. But yeah, we'll come back for the next one, probably maybe after Arsenal, or let's see, after Alkmaar or something like that. We'll see where we come in. But yeah, thanks, Reese, for your appearance here.
No worries, pleasure.
Yeah, we'll try and get you back on at some point later in the season as well. Please do keep your questions coming. As usual, as I say, hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. There's always some discussion going on Red Cafe over there. I hope to see when we come back for the next one.
Before I go, can I just give a shout out to the Kibbs group?
The Kibbs group?
The Kibbs group, yeah. They know who they are. They're a Red Calf massive, and they wanted me to give them a shout out.
I'm also going to give a shout out to the Norwegians then, Chew.
All right. Good. Nice shouts out over there. All right. Night all.
Cheerio.
Night.